Webster's dictionary describes a bromance as a close but non-sexual relationship between two men. Welcome to the Lazarus and Dangerfield Show. Hello. We've gone all men this week. It's the male-led rom-com show on the Lazarus and Dangerfield Show. And who better to talk about men than Mr. Clint Dangerfield?
I'm all about the men.
We're all about the men.
Here we go. So bromance week. This is what it's about.
It's bromance week.
Romance movies.
It definitely is. But tell me more about bromance week, Mr. Dangerfield.
Coming up on this week's movies, we have got male-led rom-coms, which I found very bromancy, which I'm all right with. It's all good. So we crash some weddings with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson in Wedding Crashers.
It's wedding season, kid.
You sandbagging son of a bitch.
I got us down for 17 of them already.
Okay, now how many of them were cash bars?
Great question. Love where your head's at, and 2 of them actually are.
We slap at the bass with Paul Rudd in I Love You, Man.
Slap at the bass, mama. Slapping the bass, mama.
There you go.
Slap at that bass, mama. I slap at that bass.
Please don't do that.
I love that slap at the. What does everyone say? I sound like a leprechaun. And we get divorced with Steve Carell in Crazy Stupid Love.
If you keep talking, I'm going to get out of the car.
I think the fact that I did it, it just shows how broken we are. Okay. How much we really need help. Oh my God!
But first, what have we been watching this week, Mr. Lazarus? It's gone awfully quiet in this place.
My actions speak louder than any words. I've been watching The Quiet Place 2.
The quieter, the better. See, that would have been a good subheading. The Quiet Place 2. The quieter, the better. They've missed out there.
Maybe no one heard them.
Shame. Maybe so. So what
And
did you
what
think?
about you, Mr. Dangerfield? What have you been watching?
I've been catching up on the latest Pixar movie that's just come out on Disney Plus, Luca. So, would
Sounds
you?
Italian?
Bellissimo. Bibbidi bobbidi bobbidi. Would you like to go first?
That isn't a slur at all. We're on it today. So kids in horror stroke thriller again? Perfect.
It's a great
Perfect
mashup.
combination.
Great mashup.
They're both pretty new. I'm I think a little bit older than you, so I will start with The Quiet Place. The Quiet Place is that's about it, basically. No, The Quiet Place 2, no spoilers, follows on from the first one. Obviously written by Jim Halbert from The Office to John Krasinski.
He's come a long way from working in that office.
He's amazing. He really is. And I was thinking about this. Is he the new Hitchcock? He's definitely the new M. Night Shyamalan. But no, if you saw the first Quiet Place, it was not a disappointing thriller.
That was amazing.
Very tense, very atmospheric, and just so I didn't see the first one in the cinema. So seeing the second one in the cinema was brilliant because it's just one of those films that I think is just better in the cinema.
I saw the first one in the cinema, and I very quickly discovered I had a box of popcorn with me. And I very quickly discovered that you just couldn't eat anything in that movie.
Yeah.
Like in the cinema, it just has to be silent. It just gotta put the popcorn
when that
side.
annoying person in front of you is eating Doritos or something, like nachos with cheese, and you just like crunch, crunch, crunch. In Quiet Place, it doesn't matter what you're eating. You could be eating candy floss and you're just, be quiet down there. So, it's a bit less quiet than the last one, I guess, maybe. It's so obviously it follows on from the last one. We've got Emily Blunt, who is just had the baby. I'm not giving you any spoilers because you kind of should have watched the first one.
I don't know why you came all the way up here. There's nothing left. Please.
And she's joined by her eldest son and her youngest daughter, who's deaf. And in this one, we're introduced to Cillian Murphy. So if you love Peaky Blinders, and this should be right up your street. So he's kind of now your new male protagonist. What to say? It follows the same formula. They are now, obviously, if you saw the end of the last film, they're kind of, I should say, if you don't know what The Quiet Place is, I should explain that, but I'm not going to, because you should have seen the first one. But
Exactly.
the monsters are still here. They're very apparent, obviously, and this is why they're a second one. So now they're trying to find a new safe haven, particularly with the baby. And obviously, again, spoiler alert from one, but Reagan Abbott, who's the deaf daughter, she discovers at the end of the first one that her hearing aid basically discombobulates. I want to say that, or definitely
What a word.
inebriates.
I can't believe you found a way to use discombobulate.
Inebriates these monsters, because the monsters, their whole sense is hearing. So it sort of distorts their ability to be able to track and hunt down humans. So it kind of it moves along from there, and I guess that's it. Like, obviously, I would say, if anything, there's a lot more of, while she was definitely a key part of the first one, she's a huge part of the second one, along with Cillian Murphy, who's great. You know, he's an American in this, of course, and but yeah, he's in it, and I just think that they bonded quite well together. There's really not a lot to say about this thing, other
that's
than,
fair.
as I said, I think it's great to watch at the cinema. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, the parts when Regan Abbott is in it is great because it just goes completely silent.
Yeah, it's
You know, it's quiet
unsettling.
enough, but when she's there, it's just like there's not a noise. Like, you can literally hear her opinion, and you're just like, oh no, there's a monster there. What you gonna
adds-
do? Why?
It adds to the tenseness
Yeah, it does.
of
It definitely
of
has
the
the
scenes.
tension.
Yeah,
And look, it's one of those things that probably is horror, but it's also a thriller. It's very Hitchcock-esque. I have to
Yeah.
say that it really is. It probably is bummy a seat, and I found it highly engaging. There were definitely people in the cinema who found this utterly terrifying. I was not one of them, but at the same time, I guess that's just how good it is, in the fact that it is meant to give you the heebie-jeebies. I
Yeah.
threw that in as well. So yeah, I would definitely
discombobulate
say,
and heebie-jeebies.
yeah, definitely worth going to see at the cinema.
Cool.
Definitely fun movie,
Yeah.
and I would say, I'm definitely 100% expect there to be more in this series, and I expect more from
Intriguing.
John Krasinski himself as well. I think he's got definitely a great future in
Well,
directing.
It's been rumored for a long time with the upcoming Fantastic Four movie
Yes,
that he will be Dr. Reed Richards. Whether he will, who knows?
and Emily Blunt.
Well, she's already said she doesn't want to do any Marvel movies, but that could be.
But she said it had to be the right Marvel movie, the right script. So she's flip-flopping. I think she will.
Who knows?
Come on, hubby's in it. Why not? So, but yeah. Anyway,
Excellent.
That won't be so quiet because it'll be flame on.
Okay, let's move on to the completely opposite end of the spectrum. and a look at the Pixar movie Luca, which got added this week to Disney Plus.
You do love your animated.
Well, who doesn't love a Pixar movie? I mean, they're just so good, and most of them, not all, but most of them are very good at being kind of aimed for children, but also aimed at adults. This one, not as much. This one's definitely aimed more towards kids, which is fine. I don't have a problem. I still enjoyed it. But definitely aimed more toward kids, and it's short as well. I mean, it's only an hour 40, but the movie only runs to an hour 25 before the credits kick in.
Oh, so with Pixar credits, think about it. It's like one guy in Korea drew an arm, another guy in Taiwan drew a finger, and they have to thank them all.
There is a bit at the end as well. There's like a little 2 minutes at the end. But yeah, so Luca, just to summarize, is set in a seaside town on the Italian Riviera. And there's a coming-of-age story about a young boy experiencing the unforgettable summer. Luca shares these adventures with his friend Alberto. But all the fun is threatened by a deeply held secret. They are sea monsters from another world below the water's surface.
Alberto Scorfano.
Luca Paguro.
Piacere. Girolamo Trombetta. It's a human thing. I'm kind of an expert.
And basically what it is,
what?
They're sea monsters. So they live in their own little world in the ocean. And, just regular sea monsters, arms, legs, tail, gills. But when they have this ability, when they come out of the water, their skin automatically turns human. But as soon as they get wet,
like mermaids, merman, kind of.
But if they get wet, so like if it rains, their skin will turn back to kind of sea monster.
Okay, I did not see that coming.
It's an interesting concept.
There's going to be land monsters everywhere.
Monster! It's me!
You scared the scales off of me!
Jeez, you're strong.
And yeah, it's a nice film. It's a lovely family. If you've got young kids, I think they'll absolutely love it. It is
and
fun.
If you haven't got them, just find
don't go out and start
China's
kind of
got
taking
a few
kids.
You can borrow.
So it's got a young cast as well. Luca played by Jacob Tremblay, and Alberto played by Jack Dylan Grazer, both non-Italians by the looks of it, but they put on Italian accents. And there's also a girl in it as well called Emma Berman, played by Emma Berman, and she's very good. She's very the chaotic friend that they meet. Couple of bigger names in it. Maya Rudolph playing Luca's mother.
Okay, again, she does that.
And Jim Gaffigan playing Luca's dad.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And also randomly,
side note, sorry, just on Jim Gaffigan. He was on this week's Rick and Morty.
Amazing.
Hilarious.
I've not watched it yet.
Anyway.
And also, randomly, Sacha Baron Cohen has a little cameo in it as Luca's uncle.
He was great as a meerkat in Madagascar, so,
He sounded a little bit Borat in this, which I was all right with. I was like, there were Borat tones coming through, and that just kind of made it funny. But yeah, I don't want to give anything away. It is as it says.
I think, to be honest, it sounds intriguing enough. You told a better story than I did Quiet Place, but it definitely really intriguing.
It follows the usual kind of plot lines of just a nice Disney movie, which again you can't go wrong with. So if you want a short film, give it a watch. It's nice and hot.
I would say interesting side note on that film. So I watched the trailer for that in Italian because an Italian friend of mine posted the trailer up, obviously in Italian. So I had no reference of it at all anyway. Because it was Italian trailer. So I was like, oh, this looks fun. But I have no idea what's going on.
That's brilliant because none of it's in Italian. There's the odd little bit of Italian bit in there, but Yeah, it's all
Right, it's
they're all,
obviously
they're all kind of
Italian
American
language version.
American
It
with
was the
Italian
language
accents.
version of the film. So. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I will look forward to that.
yeah, give it a watch.
What do you think he kills with those?
Anything that swims.
And that's it for this week. Short and sweet. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified of when the next video is up. Do you have anything else to add, Mr. Lazarus? Oh God, I can't believe how offensive you are. Apologies for that, everyone. Catch you next time.